The Portland Trailblazers knocked the Toronto Raptors the fuck out, leaving them softer than grown men walking kitty cat through the park with leash. Welcome everybody, we're back to the Sports Ethos Toronto Raptors podcast. I am your host, the ELHOOPOL Hoopo. And usually we have A-Rod, but the Trailblazers knocked him even the fuck out of this episode. And who do we got? We got the most special guest I could imagine. I gave him a phone call. I was gonna ride solo through this episode, but he's like, no man, let me ride with you, man. Let me ride with you. So he jumped shotgun and he's here, Mr. Max P. What's going on, Max P?
Nothing much, man. Just here to help my boy. Here to talk some Raptors.
Thank you so much for doing this, and man, it's been a while. It's been a while. All is good with you, huh?
All is good, but you know, with me and you, we know what we're up to. So we cannot see each other for years, and we still know. Okay, I know what Poe's up to.
That easy, man. That easy. Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't that easy. Let's just jump right in. It wasn't that easy last night for the Toronto Raptors. The Portland Trailblazers came in, and if the Toronto Raptors were a big, fat, fluffy blunt full of medicinal cannabis, Chauncey Billups took a big and blazed the Raptors, just blazed them. So, yeah, it was rough. Well, okay. Well, let me jump in first before I go off on them with more dynamite. After the last episode, I left Pascal RIP'd. So what was your take? Your quick take of what happened? It doesn't have to be quick, but what was your take of this game?
My first impressions after the game was done was Portland didn't do anything to win this game. Yet they still won the game. I mean, they didn't do anything impressive. I wasn't impressed with anything Portland did.
Nada.
Other than how strong Scoot looks. Like, he's a strong, fast, well-built young man right there. But
and you know what? He started off so slow this season too, and this was his best game yet. But continue, yeah.
But yeah, Portland did not play well at all. The whole game was. If you just watched Portland, you would think the Raptors had this game tied up. And if you watched the game without the score box, you would have thought the Raptors were winning this game.
Yeah,
it was very strange, very strange. Yeah. I was just discouraged after the loss. Okay, if we can't win a game like this, when a team plays like this,
and they came in, the Blazers came in too. They were 0-3, and the Raptors were 1-2. And I remember, I think it was Devlin who brought up a stat that before the game ended, he said, "Well, Portland Trailblazers haven't started a season 0-4 since 1984."
86,
so 86 or 84, 86. So. Man, of course, we're the ones to stop the stat. You know what I mean?
Oh, goodness gracious.
But I agree with you fully. But the one thing that I saw on my end was they had zero fight. They had zero dog in them.
Yes,
they had zero.
Yes.
They needed somebody to go out there hard foul. Yes. DeAndre Ayton out here was looking like a bully, and nobody did anything. Nobody did anything. And it's funny because while I was watching it, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. You're getting bullied. Getting worse. You knew they were coming, and you knew they were going to come in hard because they're 0-3, but you weren't ready to fight. And this reminded me, Max. I hope. Do you mind if I tell a quick story what this encapsulated and what it reminded me of? Quickly, my grandfather, he's 93 years old on my Italian side.
Shout out to the grandfather.
That's it, on the Stortini side. My family on the Italian side, they moved from Italy, and they went to New York first, and then they went to Sault Ste. Marie here in Canada, which is northern Ontario. And this was way back in the day, like the 20s, right?
Okay.
And so my grandfather told me this story. He said, Ben, the Ku Klux Klan was in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, which is just across the border in the States. And they decided that they wanted to do a march in Sioux, Canada, through the Italian ghetto to let these Italians And these people, these not good people, these Catholics, these Italians, they wanted to let him know who's the real boss in town. So word got out on the street in the Sioux that this was coming. Word got out on the street, and there was a boxing club, an Italian boxing club in the Italian hood in the Sioux. They got word that the Klan was coming, right?
Okay.
So what'd they do? They taped up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Let them come.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Let them come. Let them come. Klan came all white hooded up, marching the streets lockstep like a bunch of idiots. Well, what happened?
The last thing they expected.
The Italian stallions just covered every part of that road. So my grandfather, he wrote a book to end this. He wrote his third book, and this one is just he's an ex-judge, and he wrote this book here. It's poetry. I'm like, Grandpa, you're writing poetry now, huh?
Okay.
He's like, yeah. You just got to get it out. But he wrote a poem about that story, and I thought it encapsulated. The Raptors knew the Portland Trailblazers were coming into town. They should have been ready to fight. They should have taped up. They should have been ready. So this is the poem for the Toronto Raptors. Well, it's called Not Today, KKK. In 1926, the Klan was found in Sioux, Michigan, safe and sound. Its goal was a bit scary, to cross the border in a hurry. Teach Italians, Catholics, Frenchies, all inferior, which race is most superior. Down Main Street, white sheets marched in order, unimpeded by police on the street or at the border. The ghetto boxing club was primed and ready. Their hands were quick and steady. At day's end, the score was Klan 0, Locals 1. Klan did not return. They were done.
The bars. The structure. Your grandfather was an MC. Holy moly, it's in the blood.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Grandpa, that's a good one. He's like, you like that one, huh? You like that one? He goes, that's a true story. That's a true story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know them OGs. They don't have to make up nothing, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you mean? You asked me if this is a true story.
Yeah.
But I thought that was that kind of. It's pretty extreme, but I thought that was kind of what was going on here. Like these boys, they weren't ready, and
they were definitely the aggressiveness on the offensive rebounds was where I seen the big difference. Where it was like one team looked like, I don't know, man. They look kind of like college kids,
right,
up against NBA guys with the aggressiveness on how they were going after those rebounds. The timidness of the Raptors was full out embarrassing.
It was embarrassing, and like I said,
because in Toronto we don't like people looking at us like we're soft or timid or shy or anything like that, and they were all of that shit. It was all of that shit, and it was like, bro, come on. What are you doing?
You nailed it. We that is one of our Achilles heels. That's our kryptonite to be ever called soft. Oh no. You understand how cold it gets here? You just can't be soft living here anyways. But it's fun, yeah. And you're right. The offensive rebounds, DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton out here looking like Debo.
Just comfortable out there.
23 rebounds.
Wow.
7 to add to your point, he had 7 offensive rebounds. 2 blocks, 1 steal. He only had 1 turnover, and he shot 5 and 9. So this guy came in and he had 10 points. So, you're absolutely right. He made us look very, very soft. But okay. All right, hold on. Let's pause this here. Hold on.
All right.
Let's bring a little bit of positivity here. So what I want to say, and in the last 2 episodes, I've been just going, I keep mentioning Scotty Barnes, but guess what? I'm going to mention Scotty Barnes again. He is undoubtedly the best player on the court for the Toronto Raptors right now. Undoubtedly. I anybody that wants to debate that, I would love a debate, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to win that debate.
Yeah, I mean, he can do a lot of stuff. He's our young LeBron. Yeah. Right now he's just a young. He's like a young Draymond right now with a little bit more
a little bit more gumption. Yeah,
offense, and he has
yeah,
more offensive potential than I think Draymond has. Draymond,
100%.
like I think Barnes could be someone who scores 25,
Yeah.
26 points a night. He can get there.
The reason I bring the Draymond comparison is because the only reason really is because they both got the dog in them, but they
Oh
also when
yeah.
Draymond gets the rebound, he just goes and
Yes,
he
yes.
just goes and
Him and he's they're the
Scotty
exact
does
same
that.
when it comes to that, for sure.
Yeah,
Without a
yeah,
doubt. I love how Scotty can, and they play too slow for Scotty, I noticed when the game was on. Scotty has a little bit of the when Russell Westbrook's playing a lot faster than the rest of the team and it takes
yeah,
them a few weeks to catch up.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like Scotty Barnes is going through some of that where he gets the rebound and everybody else is just a half a step slow. It's like, come
yeah,
on, like you should be running with this guy. You know what I'm saying? He grabbed
yeah.
the rebound and he's down the court further than the rest of y'all. Like he's playing
Yeah,
faster.
and he's getting his own rebounds because guys that haven't even made it yet.
Yes, he's playing faster than everybody else,
You
which
just
is
brought a fantastic point that to add to the news that happened today. So James Harden, not to pivot off of the Raptors right now, but I don't want to forget this point because it's a great point. James Harden
yeah.
was just traded today, finally,
Yeah,
to the
Goodness
LA
gracious,
Clippers.
that was a mess.
Yeah, and he's finally gone home, but he's meeting up with Westbrook again. So
Again.
James is probably a little bit out of shape, but maybe Westbrook will get him into shape. You just have him
Oh,
running out here,
he's definitely gonna have to get into shape around Westbrook.
right?
They're
Right.
all LA boys.
Paul
You know,
George, Kawhi,
Paul George, Kawhi,
James,
injuries waiting to happen. At one
man.
point in the season, it will be Westbrook and Harden.
Yeah, yeah.
I do believe Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are fragile.
Do you? 100%. But I think this might be the year that Kawhi does put in about 60 plus. I don't think he'll put in 70, but I think maybe 62 games he might put in.
I seen that look in his eye though, like
That's
the
it.
other night. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, that's kind of like peak
2019.
Toronto Raptor.
Yeah. When he
Kawhi
dunked-
there a little bit, you know?
Yeah. So imagine that works though. Not to stay in the Clipper land, but not right now. But those boys, I wonder if that would work. Like,
I don't know. I have no idea. It seems like too many chefs in the kitchen, don't it?
it's like it's almost like I don't know, like a G League Olympic team. Do you know what I mean? Like they're stars, they're big names, big boys, but not necessarily the team I want to represent in the Olympics.
No.
But like good,
Yep.
but I don't know. But okay. Well, you know what? I actually do wish I don't. I say this all the time. Same with A-Rod all the time that I never call another NBA player trash or a bum because if they made the league, they made the league. There's only one bum-ass player in the NBA, and that's Ben Simmons, and I'll keep that bum-ass Ben Simmons. Bum-ass Ben Simmons. I wanted to make a segment on the show called the bum-ass Ben Simmons bucket of bum-ass dudes. And so anytime anybody makes just a stupid move or just something else, like you get put in that bucket for a day because Ben Simmons, the man, I bring it up every time. I watched the highlights the other day, the Nets highlights. The man has every summer off just like every other human being. You know you can't shoot. How is it that you don't take a little bit of that money that you spend and buy yourself a shooting coach? Because every time I see his wrist go this way when he tries to shoot, it's disrespectful to the game. It's disrespectful to himself.
I mean, yeah, it's all in the head because he obviously has the skills and the ability.
He does.
He's just not. He's not built like that.
No, he's not. You talk about soft. You talk about walking a kitty cat through the park with a leash.
And the problem is he'll try and play to get the money, the fame, but he don't want to do the work and follow through. You know, it's very annoying. Like, get the fuck out the way or put in the work. What are you doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
And I don't want to give him too much airtime, but at the same, he would be so good if he just notched that ego down a bit, fixed his shot a little bit. The guy would have 20, 10, and 10 every night.
Notch that ego down a little bit.
Get your
Why
ego
can't he just be a little humble? You don't know shit, bro. You like just admit it. And like
Yeah.
you'll it'll take you much further if you just realize, you know what, I don't know shit, man.
Yeah, I bet you what's gonna happen is something's gonna happen, and then he's gonna write a book, and it's called "I'm Finally Humble" or something like that. Humbled, something crazy. Okay, anyways, back to the Raptors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a you know, I called every episode. We go back and forth, and we make a prediction who's gonna win the game and what the score is gonna be. And I had the Raptors winning 90-86, and I said they'd be down going into the fourth. They were down going into the fourth, and it actually looked like it was going to hit that score. But they got the yips going into the fourth, and they literally couldn't hit a shot. And that whole Pascal's got to take over. I let Pascal know last episode what I thought about him, and I've been letting him know since last year. But I think he has mentally checked out, because what I saw at the end of that game was nothing more than just somebody finishing a game.
Yeah.
Like a men's league game where it's like, well, I got my kid at home. It's Halloween. I got to get home soon, but I'll finish this up for you boys. And
Yeah, like shout out to Mr. Fame. I was talking to him on the phone earlier today, and we were talking about how poor kids don't make
Shout
it to
out
the
Fame.
league. Yeah, shout out Fame. Poor kids don't make it to the league anymore. A lot of these kids are some NBA player's kid. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
and a lot of the kids like are coming like my nephew. No disrespect, but he got a bedroom bigger than my whole apartment. You know what I'm saying? And he's
Man.
He's a great ball player. He not even 15. He taller than me.
Yeah.
And but he lives a good life. He's not. It's not a rags to riches type of situation. A lot of the kids who have potential to make it to the league now.
Mr.
You know?
Noodles and cheese slices, man.
It's like and Pascal has that dripping all over him. Just
All over him.
I don't need this. I'm just talented type. You know, like he didn't come. You know, like he was good before he got here, and it's just like, bruh, can you like put in? You know?
Well, I brought this point up before that, and I think it's valid enough to add to what you're saying right now, because I think it's true. Is that Toronto breeds players. We definitely bring players up, and we what we do is the fan base puts them above where their skill level really is.
We love doing that.
We love doing that. Like I said, they did that. They did that with Fred. Like Fred, like Vince. Vince was a star. We made Vince a god.
Yes, and then we hope you grow into what we make you.
That's it.
What
and when you don't, then we get angry. Then they get angry.
Yeah.
So they did that with Fred, I believe, and then what happens
That's a great
is
description.
what happens is some players they get their egos checked either by their lady or by their circle, and they're like, don't get down from that. Like, don't listen to that. That's not you.
Like Kyle Lowry got that Philly in him.
That's it.
It never got to his head.
That's it. And he never let it go past that. I think Fred went past that and started to believe it. And I think Pascal, he's tasting the poison a little bit. And it I hate to say it, but I think that might be where he's at, because he started to believe his own shit.
Yeah, he been believing his own shit for a while now, bro. I mean, he doesn't. His game was evolving. You could see it evolve, and then it stopped.
Fast too.
It stopped, and it's been like that for at least 2 seasons now.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right. It's the same old shit. The last two, it's just spin move, and now it's just getting a little slower. And so, Masai and Bobby, I think they have to act quick, because A-Rod said before, we can't let what happened with Fred happen where you get nothing. But my point to that is I don't even think the Raptors want to keep him anyways. I think they kind of want. It's like tanking without the tanking. If that makes any sense. Like it's slowly tanking, and because they never want to admit they're tanking. Yeah.
And a point guard,
shoulder.
It's kind of like a running back in the NFL, where if we gotta let you go, we'll kind of replace it with someone who can kind of simulate the same thing. You know, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be Derrick Henry. You know, it's not gonna be Saquon Barkley. But you know, if we get some good blocking, you know, we can get Joe Blow to to kind
Yeah,
of,
it's funny because you put Schroeder in there
you
now.
put
It's like
Schroeder in there
you
now.
went from a daycare. You went from a daycare with Fred before, where the kids were under control and steady and almost disciplined, military like, and then Schroeder comes in. It's like the adults left the room.
Yeah,
He's just out here,
yeah.
and I've played with guys like Schroeder. I've played with like they're just really fast point guards who just go and they just don't stop and they just go and they're kind of
It
unpredictable and
stays it stays
chaotic.
messy. It stays
Yes,
messy.
yeah, stays
In
messy. Yeah.
Atlanta, I mean, everywhere he went, it can never. He's always a backup. He's a backup point guard. You know.
Yeah, he has skill, but he's a journeyman now. He's an older dude, and he's a backup. But
Yeah, like he's a guy who comes in and gives your starters rest. But to
yeah,
have him as your guy, no, we're going. There's no one. There's no one leading the ship. You know, there's no
well,
captain on the ship.
I wanted to go touch on a couple things before we get off this game. I always like to,
So you
give
think it's coaching? That's all this mess that we're talking about. You think that's coaching?
like the mess the Raptors are in right now.
Yeah, the lack of aggressiveness.
No, 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 no. I actually don't think it's coaching at all. I think that Darko was given a tough plate to eat. So I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to first just develop relationships with his guys right now. And I think he's just trying to get that trust with them first. And you can't get that in 3 games. But
Yeah, for
what
sure.
I do think roster wise that is lacking though is what, like I'll say it again, what Pat Bev said, that we don't have any dogs. Yeah, Pat Bev said, yeah, if I walked into an alley, yeah.
Barnes is
But wait, Barnes is a dog. Yes.
Yes.
100%. Yes, 100%. But you can't have your best player also be the dirtiest dog. on the court.
no, yeah, you're right.
You need that guy who he might give you 6-7 points, but he's gonna foul out and make sure that you don't touch Scotty. While Scotty
Yeah.
can still be a bit of a dog, but be your best player. So
Like how the Morris brothers used to do for years.
Yeah,
PJ Tucker,
Gretzky had McSorley, and
Gretzky had me. So yeah, everybody's got that. Like
Yeah.
even Patrick Ewing had Oakley and X-Man and
Yeah.
he had the whole damn Knicks team. They would all kick ass.
Yeah, man, they were all dogs. So I think that's what this team needs. Roster wise, I do think they need a couple of guys like that, like a couple of maybe a vet who's got that in him.
I think I said that on the last episode
You
I was
did.
on, where they need somebody that's going to make them uncomfortable in that locker room.
Yes,
Like a guy that's going to make everybody uncomfortable when they're not playing well. They can anticipate, it's going to be, we didn't play well tonight. I don't even want to hear what this guy's got to say today.
To go back to your point of being a star and a dog. You know who you just reminded me of is you can do that. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's a dog.
Jimmy Butler
And he's
is
a
a
star.
different kind of star.
But he's a different type of
kind of
dude,
star. Yeah, like Jimmy Butler is he's one of a kind. Like I don't know if there's too many guys
is
like
one
Jimmy
of a
Butler. We
kind,
can't even
yeah.
figure out Jimmy Butler. Like
No.
we're like he was what 8th seed, 9th seed. They went to the NBA fucking finals. Excuse my language.
No, you let it out of here.
know?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
He's hard to read, Jimmy Butler. Man.
He's hilarious with the emo hair. Do you see him do that hair?
Yeah, I see him do the emo with the nails and the piercing.
It's like, I'm emo now. Okay, Jimmy. That's
now
what
we got
Miami
something
will
to-
do to you.
We got something to look forward to every year they do the photo now.
Yeah. Well,
He's
I wanted
making that a thing.
What I was gonna say is that I like to point out a couple positives on the other side too. Is that Shaden Sharp, the hometown boy, came back.
Yes, he looked good
And he
playing
looked
for
good.
Portland, but he looked good. I was like, yo,
Yeah,
Cat
14
is playing
points,
nice. Uh-huh.
five rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal in front of the hometown fans.
Had family and friends in there, That was
So
good.
happy
That was
for
good.
him, man. Big
That
smile.
was really good.
The Canadians were taking over the league one by one with some big names. Shea, I'm not going to go through them, but man, it feels good right now. It feels really
Yeah, I mean, like what they did in Indiana. I think they did
Yeah, man.
a game where they were all starting.
good. Yeah.
That was crazy.
What's his name from Aurora, the young kid? Anyways, but another one that you brought up earlier that I was happy to see him get a little bit of the jitters away was Scoot, because the hardest position for a rookie to make a difference in is point guard. It's the hardest
Yeah.
position for a rookie to come in and make a difference. And he had a really rough start, and he came in last night, and he just, man, he looks good. He looks strong too. He's a strong point guard.
I mean, if he makes it, like that's the position you want to start at if you really want to be the guy.
Yeah.
LeBron is what he is because that coach put him at point guard when he was a rookie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paul Silas, I think it was, and even Giannis when Jason Kidd made him the point guard.
Jason Kidd. Don't get me started on Jason Kidd, man.
Oh, you don't like Jason Kidd?
No respect to Jason Kidd, the player, but Jason Kidd, the coach. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. Let's look ahead. Let's look ahead to the Raptors coming up tomorrow. The Bucks are in town. So, speaking of Giannis, and the new look Milwaukee Bucks with Dame Dollar, Damian Lillard. What did you think of that move to get Dame on the team?
I watched the game they played against Philly.
Yeah.
Where Embiid was like, I don't want to lose this game.
Yeah.
I'm not losing this game.
Yeah,
and they still won the game. I was like, ooh, okay, this is going to be fun. But in between the playoffs and what we are right now, I think they're going to go through a lot of ups and downs.
And they're one bad injury away too because they
got a coach I don't know about. And
he was a Raptors assistant coach last year.
Why are all of the assistants from the? I watched that game and it was two assistants from the Raptors head coaching each other, and I was like, wait a minute, how are we missing out on all of this? There's another assistant head coaching the Timberwolves. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. All of our guys are head coaches, and Nick Nurse is out there coaching Philly. That's like 4 head coaches.
Yeah.
Head coaches.
Well, I'll tell you something though. The Masai and Bobby pick of Darko. Darko is the Raptors' Ted Lasso. I'm going to say it.
You think so?
I do think so. I think he's going to come in and completely. I think as a basketball player, because I played my whole life. I stopped when my daughter was born and I stopped playing. But I had some good coaches, and I also had some crazy.
Is she old enough
coaches.
to trick or treat?
Yeah, I took her out tonight. She came back with a whole Shoppers Drug Mart bag, just full. That's good.
That's good.
I brought my son out too. He's only 1 now, and he's a monster. This boy is a monster. He's 100% for weight, 100% for height. Stello Stortini. I say he runs through brick walls. So I said he's a rhinoceros. So my lady goes and buys a rhino costume. So with the
from Spider-Man?
No, just like a rhinoceros.
Just the rhinoceros.
Yeah. So we put him in that, and we took him out, and it was nice, man. It was
good stuff.
The whole neighborhood got together, and it was good, man. Mm-hmm. So what? Let's send it at this. What are you? You're gonna do the guess, the prediction. Since we have you here, I want you to predict the game score for the Bucks and the Raptors tomorrow, and give a little rundown of why you're putting that score.
I'm gonna go with a high scoring game. I don't think it's going to be a lot of defense in that game. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you play defense against Dame or Giannis. I think
true. You just hope.
It's so the thing is, because they have Brook Lopez over there, I'm worried that it might be a high scoring game just on their end.
The Raptors might get whooped.
Yeah, we might get whooped. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, man, say it. You don't always have to say
I'm gonna go 110 Milwaukee
110
to 95 the Raptors.
Woo! 15-point smash.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm actually going to jump on this bet too, and I'm gonna up you just by not up you, but I'm going to add to that score. And I actually agree with you. I think that Raptors aren't ready for this. And I think the Storm's going to come in. I think Brook Lopez is going to do us worse than DeAndre did. I think Dame's going to come in and probably make a song about it after.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have like 3 verses and a hook for sure.
Giannis is going to go for like a quadruple double. So I think it's going to be 125 to 106.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's that. It's there. It is, folks. Go put your money down on FanDuel, Pro Line, whatever you do. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first. Listen,
from the Toronto boys.
From the Toronto, yeah, exactly. Max, we are going to do this again, and thank you so much for coming on. And let's leave it at this. I think that the best thing we can leave our listeners with right now is to know that as fans, we do sit here and we may sound like we're talking shit about the players and nail it. But listen, when it comes down to it, I said it before, all we are is we're talking shit on a podcast, but I mean I don't mean any disrespect to any of these guys.
No.
We're all human beings here, and
yes,
I do understand that they go home just the same as we go home. They have kids the same just as we have kids. So I want, if anyone ends up listening, know that I am no fool when it comes to this, that I do understand that, and I want everybody to know that it may look like I'm clowning on some people, but I'm not. It's also entertainment, and I'm having fun out here, and I love talking shit, small spit, and talking about hoop. So
nothing personal.
That's it. All right, and on that, nothing personal. That should be the name of the episode. Nothing personal.
Personal.
All right, Max. Thank you, my friend. We will talk.
Yes, sir.
This has been another Sports Ethos Toronto Raptor podcast. Thank you very much for listening. And wherever you catch these podcasts, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, please hit that like. And also, every episode will now be on YouTube, so you can put a face to the voice. Bye-bye.